Welcome to Untold History, the space where we explore the moments that define the course of the world. Although the Holy Roman Empire ceased to exist in 1806, its shadow looms over the history of Europe. For more than 1,000 years, this vast and complex entity was the axis of power struggles, ideals of Christian unity, and cultural transformations. In this final chapter, we will reflect on how his legacy continues to shape the modern world. From its influence on Gothic architecture and the heritage of its legal systems to its role as a forerunner of the idea of a unified Europe, the Holy Roman Empire left an indelible mark. Its decentralized and multicultural structure anticipated challenges and opportunities that resonate in the present. We will also explore how their ideals, from the balance of power to political legitimacy, influence the creation of modern institutions such as the European Union. Join us as we close this historic journey. The Holy Roman Empire, a political and cultural entity that spanned more than 1,000 years, ceased to exist in 1806 with the abdication of Francis II. However, its impact transcended time, leaving a lasting legacy in the history of Europe and the world. Throughout its existence, it was a laboratory of multicultural coexistence and political decentralization. Although often perceived as weak due to its fragmentation, this model allowed numerous states, duchies, principalities, and free cities to coexist under a common structure. This diversity influenced the evolution of national identities in Europe, particularly in the Germanic territories. Even after their dissolution, these identities continued to shape modern states. His legal legacy is equally significant. The imperial law system, which combined Roman law, local customs, and imperial decrees, laid the foundation for the codification of law in Europe. The idea that a central authority could coexist with local laws and autonomous institutions inspired later legal systems, such as the Napoleonic Code and, later, the legal structures of the European Union. In addition, the concept of balance of power, which arose from the constant negotiations and conflicts within the empire, was a precursor to modern diplomacy. In the cultural field, the Holy Roman Empire was a bastion of art and architecture. From Gothic cathedrals that symbolized the union between the divine and the earthly, to illuminated manuscripts and sacred music, the empire promoted a cultural flourishing that left a lasting impact. Figures such as Albrecht Dürer, Hans Holbein, and masters of classical music, such as Haydn and Mozart, flourished in a context influenced by imperial structures. The Holy Roman Empire also played an important role in shaping religion in Europe. Although it was weakened by the divisions of the Protestant Reformation and the religious wars that followed, its structure allowed for a model of religious coexistence. The Peace of Augsburg of 1555 and the Peace of Westphalia of 1648 established principles that, although limited in their time, served as the basis for the development of religious tolerance in Europe. Despite its formal demise in 1806, the Holy Roman Empire left a deep mark on modern politics. His ideal of unification under a secular and spiritual leader influenced attempts to build a unified Europe. The European Union, although a very different project, partly reflects this dream of collaboration and peace between different states. In addition, the titles and symbols of the Holy Roman Empire, such as the double-headed eagle, continue to be emblems of power and authority in various nations. One of the lesser-known aspects of the Holy Roman Empire's legacy is its influence on administrative and economic practices. During its existence, the empire fostered trade networks that connected Europe to the rest of the world. Cities such as Nuremberg, Frankfurt, and Augsburg became centers of trade and financial innovation. These practices contributed to the development of an interconnected economy, an early precursor to globalization. The impact of the Holy Roman Empire is not limited to Europe. Its model of shared authority and emphasis on diplomacy influenced other regions of the world. Even in the context of the Americas, some imperial ideals, such as the coexistence of multiple identities under a common authority, were reflected in early experiments in confederation and federalism. After the fall of the empire, the political map of Europe underwent significant changes. The demise of the Holy Roman Empire facilitated the consolidation of more centralized states, such as Prussia and Austria. which played pivotal roles in the events of the 19th century. However, the vacuum left by the empire also allowed new tensions to emerge, especially in the Germanic territories, culminating in German unification under Prussian leadership in 1871. In the 20th century, its influence reappeared indirectly with the creation of supranational institutions such as the European Coal and Steel Community, the precursor of the European Union. The idea of uniting sovereign states around common interests, such as trade and peace, is reminiscent of the ideals of cooperation that once defined the Holy Roman Empire. Although the European Union faces challenges of its own, its existence reflects an aspiration shared by Europeans since imperial times, the search for unity and diversity. Today, the legacy of the Holy Roman Empire can be seen in the principles of subsidiarity and federalism that guide many modern democracies. These concepts, which allow for the coexistence of multiple levels of government, are a direct echo of the complex political structures of empire. Moreover, the emphasis on peaceful conflict resolution, a key tenet of imperial diplomacy, remains a pillar of contemporary international relations. Ultimately, it was much more than a political institution. It was a symbol of human efforts to balance unity and diversity, tradition and innovation. His legacy transcends the criticisms that can be made of him for his inefficiency or fragmentation. Rather than seeing it as a relic of the past, it is important to recognize it as a bridge to the future, an imperfect but valuable model of cooperation in the midst of diversity. Throughout this series, we've explored the key moments, iconic figures, and challenges that define the Holy Roman Empire. From its founding under Otto I to its dissolution at the hands of Napoleon, this empire witnessed some of the most momentous events in European history. But his true legacy lies not only in the events he starred in, but in the ideas he transmitted, the importance of coexistence, the need for a balance of power, and the aspiration for lasting peace. We appreciate your company on this journey through history. How do you think the legacy of the Holy Roman Empire lives on in our world today? We invite you to reflect on it as we close this series, remembering that history is never completely written.